Alright, I need a good palate cleanse. What do you got for me?
Check this out.
What the fuck? How fucking tall is he? He's carrying around a shopping cart like it was a basket. Is this a fucking time traveler? Wait a minute. Bob, did you take out the DeLorean without asking again?
I was bored the other day.
Oh boy.
Hello?
Doc, this is Mr. Albertson. Did you get the test results back on my wife?
Yes, we did, but they're a little unclear. She either has AIDS or Alzheimer's.
What do I do?
Take her out for a drive, drop her a few miles from the house. If she comes home, don't fuck her.
Trump's a bitch.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. We don't like him. That's the word around here.
Any particular reason why you don't like him?
No clue at all. I'm just going with everybody else saying.
Brilliant! Brilliant!
People are saying you married your brother for citizenship purposes, but are you in love with your brother, Congresswoman? I mean, do you guys sleep with each other? Is this normal in Somalia? Does he get butt naked and yell, "I'm decapitated now, sister"? Or what's the deal over there? You got some kind of stepbrother fetish, Congresswoman? And when you guys get naked and have sex, do you leave your headscarf on or do you take it off?
Good question.
Whoa! 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 Bro, shut the fuck up. I just woke up. Yeez.
You don't have to go to hell. You're in hell. This is hell. This is hell. This is hell.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Then strangled them, and finally dismembered their bodies.
Right.
Then do
Available.
and homelessness and all that. And now, the voice you've been waiting for.
There is a secret song at the center of the world, and its sound is like razors through flesh. I'm here to turn up the volume.
I'm kind of retarded.
Really good movies may be extremely few and far between these days, but I've always looked at movies like a truncated version of a novel. If it's a good one, then there's something that you take away from it. And weirdly, from movies, fictional stories, oftentimes I learn about things that are actually true. Like there was this one movie called War Incorporated, and I remember there was this line about how Anderson Cooper was coming and all they have is a junior suite. Is that okay? Because, I mean, he is a Vanderbilt. And while for many years now people have realized that he is a Vanderbilt and the whole CIA internship, but this was back in 2008. They just like to slip these little nuggets of truth in there occasionally. Like that one line from Goodfellas.
It's nice. I'm from Miami. You ever been there? It's okay, but it's like you died and woke up in Jew heaven.
I can confirm this is true, with the caveat that Jew heaven is surprisingly welcoming to Hispanics. For some reason. Anyway, these past few days I've been thinking a lot about something from the movie Ghost Dog.
Among the maxims on Lord Naoshige's wall, there was this one. Matters of great concern should be treated lightly. Master Ite commented, matters of small concern should be treated seriously.
I remember seeing that for the first time and not fully understanding it. I became determined to seek out this book that kept getting quoted in the movie. And sure enough I did, and when I came to that same passage in the book, it had some additional clarification to it. The concept is that in matters of great concern, it should be something that you have already resolved yourself to a course of action and a way of dealing with it if it comes up. You're only going to have so many possibilities of what you would consider great concern going on in your life at any one time. And so the idea is you need to be prepared for those and the possibilities so that you're not taken aback and caught off guard. And from the outside observer, it appears as though you're treating this lightly, almost callously, but really it's only because you have mentally prepared for this moment in advance. Now, for all the weird stories that have popped up this year, political assassination was actually something that a lot of us did have on our 2025 bingo card. And is it really a surprise that it wound up being such a suspicious event where nobody can really even come to a consensus on what the fuck we just witnessed? How many of these events has there been where, when all is said and done, the only thing that you can really be sure about is that the official story that the government's putting out is total bullshit? And this really is one for the record books. So many inconsistencies and rabbit holes and suspicious characters. It seemed pretty obvious from the jump that there was some fuckery afoot. One of the, at first glance, wilder theories that's cropped up is the idea that the wifey had something to do with it, that she was somewhat of a handler for a certain Middle Eastern country. I was pretty dismissive of that, based on the circumstantial nature of the evidence people were throwing out there, and the fact how funny nobody ever noticed or mentioned this until now. And then when I heard that audio about how they were bringing her down there to sign off on the paperwork and they weren't going to be doing an autopsy, something that in any murder case is completely standard, and something that would have cleared up the what the fuck happened with the trajectory and the direction of where the shot came from.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, 10-9?
Can you just add a step to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
287, I'll be clear to the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got on the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to signature and they're bringing a car over here for her right now.
So yeah, that's more than a little suspicious to me. Because if we're still going with what we saw was a direct hit from a 30-06 to his neck that didn't deflect off of body armor, and this time, rather than give us some jackassy story of a magic bullet, we've got the magic neck theory. That yes, his neck was just superhumanly strong and helped save lives. Literally invoking Superman with the Man of Steel description. I don't exactly know who's full of shit here and who's just relaying the bullshit, but this is total bullshit. And oh, they just found the bullet right underneath the skin, did they? So yeah, why would we need an autopsy? Yeah, sorry, I'm not that kind of retard. Everybody seems to keep insisting he wasn't wearing a vest, and for me that was the only way to make it somewhat make sense. So I'm kind of reaching the point where I've got to ask myself, how much time can I reasonably allot to looking at these rabbit holes when there are plenty of other matters of great concern looming? And what if that was the point all along? What if, at first glance, what seems like a very sloppy and amateurish op, well, what if the whole point was to have all these different oddities and suspicious characters, and that way you've got all these people devoting pretty much all of their time trying to get to the bottom of what exactly went down? What if that was the psyop all along? And I am by no means trying to discourage people in any way from looking at this shit. All I'm saying is that it would behoove you to be cognizant of the very real probability that you're not going to get a concrete answer. You're not going to have some moment where things get revealed and there's proof positive and you get to say, aha! Aha! And this is kind of starting to feel like the Kansas City Shuffle.
This is a Kansas City Shuffle. They look right. And you go left.
See, they give us this bright, shiny object to look at. Oh, look over here at the left. Look how deranged and psychotic and bloodthirsty they are. And it's not that they're wrong. It's that just as, or maybe even more concerning to me, are the reactions and proposals for responses on the right. The problem-reaction solution in the Hegelian dialectic. So many people were all too happy to applaud at Kimmel getting canceled. Because, yeah, fuck him, he's a dick. But when you've got the commissioner of the FCC doing a podcast talking about how ABC could just lose their broadcast license and we could do this the easy way or the hard way. And I've heard some people sort of defending this like, he was just joking.
Yeah, that's not funny.
Yeah, government censorship of speech isn't something to fucking joke about. It's our job to call for people to get canceled. The people. But this time, just because the censorship is being directed at an ideological enemy, well, now people go along with it. And Bondi sitting there threatening to go after people for hate speech. And sure, it only took a few hours for her to walk back that bullshit. But that was only because of the immediate and extreme negative backlash she got for saying that. I don't believe for a second that she misspoke or didn't know what the fuck she was saying. They've been trying for a while to use anti-Semitism as a foot in the door to carve out some kind of bullshit hate speech exemption to the First Amendment. And is this newfound focus on the possibility of left-wing extremists organizing violence on the internet going to be the excuse they need to go after online anonymity the way they are in the UK? What started off not that long ago as just protecting children, all of a sudden it's becoming, oh, well, we need to have a digital ID. And we're probably also going to start seeing more of the bullshit argument of, oh, you know, a digital ID sure would help to thwart the illegal migration problem. See, if they frame it with language like, this is going to help with illegal migration and left-wing extremism. How many people on the right are just going to go along with that, not even realizing that their unconscious bias has been manipulated to get them to go along with something that if the other side had done, they would have a total conniption fit over. And that's what I mean by the Kansas City Shuffle. And as far as other matters of great concern, here's a story that really has flown under the radar because of all the attention being paid to the Kirk assassination. Enough telecom equipment in a network big enough to completely cripple New York City's cell service got discovered, and the cards are being held very close to the chest on this one insofar as how they discovered it, who they believe is responsible, because this is not some ragtag operation. If you look at the amount of equipment, this screams nation-state actors, and I can't help but wonder, how many other systems in these networks are out there that just haven't been discovered? This is exactly the kind of thing that could make shit really go sideways in this country. Because the way I see it, the threat posed by these Antifa types alone is minimal. These are not very capable people on their own accord. Really, they've been helped out all along by people inside of agencies like the FBI. And these kids are so fucking stupid that they're out there doing this shit and then they turn on the news, the corporate network news, and they hear people bending over backwards not to say mean things about them. And that doesn't make them suspicious at all. And now that they've been designated domestic terrorists, they're out there showing their asses in a lot of places, and occasionally you're going to have something successful-ish, like what just happened in Dallas. And when I first heard about this sniper attack on the Dallas ICE facility, well, that didn't seem all that out of the ordinary. I mean, this is becoming a common occurrence. But then when I heard that the 3 people that got shot were detainees, I was like, wait a minute. Is this one of those retaliation things that supposedly the right was going to be doing? Something to help out further escalations in violence in a tit-for-tat. And for a moment it also kind of reminded me of the movie Speed.
Shoot the hostage. What?
Turns out it's basically what you would expect when you have an Antifa operation. A total shit show. The kid hates ICE so much that he shoots the detainees. I have to wonder, did he realize he shot the detainees and that's why he offed himself? And is that why he wrote anti-ICE on one of the bullets? Thinking, oh shit, it might be confusing what my motives were. I better write anti-ICE with a Sharpie on this bullet. That way they'll know that I actually wanted to get the ICE agents, I'm just a fucking dipshit. So what happens if you have one of these telecom attacks, and word goes out in advance on these Discord servers the way that it seems to have gone out to people about something happening at Charlie Kirk on a specific day, and when all of a sudden 911 in all these medium-sized cities just isn't working, and these kids are ready for it?
You're gonna see some serious shit.
Well, I imagine it would look fairly similar to the Purge movie franchise. And I say similar because it's not like it's going to be a government-sanctioned thing, at least not openly. When people talk about predictive programming, they tend to be speaking of the concept of preparing people to not freak out and to be more accepting and more docile when crazy or extreme things happen. But what about the possibility that through things like the Purge movies, they've also been priming the pump and hyping people up, getting them ready? How many people do you think have watched those movies and thought to themselves, oh man, if only, I sure would love to be able to settle some scores, and being blissfully unaware of what such a situation would bring?
You would be fucking dead.
And there are so many other little stories that don't matter much, but I would like to mention just for shits and giggles. Like the Burberry bandit up in New York, named so because he apparently likes to rob banks dressed like Andre Benjamin from Outkast. And even though he's got 34 prior arrests related to bank robberies, he just got released on no bail by a judge who just last month got in a little bit of hot water himself for waving a gun around in his own courtroom.
What an asshole!
Even more interesting to me was the singer's car out in LA that got abandoned on a street for a few days, and when they took it to the impound lot, they found what was described as a decomposing and dismembered body of a young teenage girl who went missing last year at age 13, which would make her 14 or 15 at the time she was murdered. And I've seen this story basically nowhere. Instead, I see all this talk about the James Comey indictment. Oh, look at that, it's really happening, huh? Yeah, getting an indictment is one thing. Getting a conviction in a very blue, state-humping area of Virginia is going to be quite another thing. I'm not saying I wasn't happy to see him get indicted. I'm just saying there's a long fucking way to go. The deep state has not yet begun to be dismantled. Which, if there's one takeaway from this whole Charlie Kirk situation, it's that. And then there was this whole Trump's address to the UN General Assembly. And they had previously had UN staffers joking about turning off the escalator because Trump had cut a bunch of the funding to the UN, so the joke was, oh, haha, we ran out of money, guess you'll have to take the stairs. And then what do you know, the escalator just happens to stop working. And then all of a sudden, right as he starts to give the speech, the teleprompter malfunctions. As if that really matters to somebody like him. He does way better just speaking off the cuff. And I don't know how much of the actual speech that he did give is what was written for him to give and how much was just winging it. But it was good to see him go after the UN for instigating, funding, and helping exacerbate the refugee crisis that the EU has been going through just like the US. I mean, it was a pretty good fucking speech beginning to end. Turns around and starts cuddling up with Zelensky, looking like they're giving each other the Dutch rudder, and puts out this post talking about how, oh yeah, Ukraine can probably get all their territory back, and who knows, maybe even more than that. Literally hinting at Ukraine maybe taking a piece of Russian territory. And a lot of people were thinking that this was the reason that Pete Hegseth was calling all one-star generals and above to come in for a meeting. Honestly, I think it has more to do with Venezuela and the fact that we are probably about to have some kind of major action there. But really all of this shit is connected. And whether the next major event to pop off happens in Venezuela, somewhere in the area of Ukraine, maybe Taiwan, or maybe with the tiny hat crew in the Middle East. I had that asshat Netanyahu go on Fox News this weekend to dispel some of these nasty rumors that have been going around.
I read somewhere this ridiculous lie. President Trump does what he does because he decides what's in America's best interest. And I've said this often, I don't decide a thing for President Trump. He is the most independent leader, an amazing leader that I've seen in all my years, and I think many people in the world see that. So the idea that in any ways that I boast, that I control him, that's ridiculous. It's a lie. And not only did I not say it, I don't think it.
Well, I don't know about you, but that certainly quelled all my suspicions. But yeah, we've got several tinderboxes around the world, and once one goes up, it's a pretty good bet that the rest are gonna follow suit. That's just the way these things tend to work. Sláinte.
All I have in this world is my thoughts and my words, and I don't break them for no one. You understand? So say good night to the bad guy. 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 Come on. Come on. night. So say good night. So say good night to the bad guy. I told you, don't fuck with me. 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 You stupid fuck. Look at you now. Look at you now.